What is up? Happy Friday. How you doing? My name is Chef Daniela Malfitano. I go by Chef D. Malfi. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. Today you are here for a live cooking lesson. Hopefully that's why you're here, and a little nutrition lesson while we're at it. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much, like I said, for coming, and thank you to everyone who's come throughout the weeks that we've been doing this. It's been really fun. I am a chef and an integrative nutrition health coach, and I've been teaching and coaching for a couple of years, as well as chefing, and has been a proud culinarian for the last 15 years. And the reason I decided to go live and do these weekly cooking lessons live is because I wanted to offer a resource, a free resource, a guided resource, a fun resource for you and your family, hopefully your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, any people in your community that you can share this information with. I'm really excited because I recently became plant-based, full-on plant-based. I've taken a stand in the way that I eat for the first time in my entire culinary and coaching career. And I'm really excited to celebrate that with you because now is the time, right? I'm feeling more and more called to share this message of going plant-based, of eating plant-based. If you can't go fully plant-based right now, just stay tuned. Keep coming back. Keep coming for these cooking lessons because I'm going to show you how to make cooking whole food, plant-based, super easy, approachable, and super fun along the way. It shouldn't be daunting. It shouldn't be complicated. And it certainly shouldn't be expensive. And it should come with an experience of feeling empowered and feeling inspired through this style of eating and this really cool way of living and being. And I want to share that with you. So today, we are making another quick and easy lunch or meal idea. But this one is shareable because it's Friday. Happy Friday. After all, I wanted to do a shareable, delicious, kind of appetizer-esque. It could either be a meal or something shareable like an appetizer. Today, we're making unbelievably good, spicy almond ricotta stuffed portobello mushrooms. Now that sounds like a mouthful, and it is. It's so good. It's creamy. It's delicious. It's meaty. It has all of the flavors that you want, like spice, like savory, garlic, onion, all of it. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do. It's going to come together in less than 10 minutes. Stay with me. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to begin by just introducing the ingredients. If at any point you have a question, just go ahead and leave a question in the comment box because I can see you here. I can see everybody that's here. Hello, 8 viewers so far. If you're watching this live, hello. If you're watching the replay, hello. If you have a question at any point, either the replay or the live right now, type it in the comment box and I myself are going to respond to you. I want to engage with you. I want to start the conversation with you around whole food, plant-based, and why there's no time like the present, like right now, than to go fully plant-based. All right, well, I see you, Sal. I love you, Sal. Salvador Lopez has been one of my good friends. Sal, you and I have been friends for 7 years. He and I worked together at Hands On Gourmet, an amazing corporate wellness and corporate culinary event space in San Francisco. Sal, you are the great kitchen manager, and I thank you so much for your support, buddy. All right, you ready to make some portobello mushrooms, Sal? I can see you saying, yeah. All right, let's go. All right, so first thing you need portobello mushrooms. Now, these are really interesting. I left them in the container so that I could show you. These actually say portobello mushrooms. Now, I really like that this actually gave me the female gender pronoun, portobella, but traditionally portobellos are actually pronounced portobellos. And we're gonna talk about the history of portobello mushrooms, how they actually grow, the process in which they're harvested, because they're harvested at many stages. But this is the first ingredient you want. And if you can't find portobello mushrooms, go ahead and grab a button mushroom or even a cremini mushroom. Those will work just fine. So that's the first thing. Now, the other thing, I'm going to go out of order, are our flavor agents, okay? We need some flavor agents for this, and we need a lot of flavor for this because we want to make it rich, unctuous, delicious. We want it to be craveable, essentially. So follow along with me, you guys. I'm going to start from left to right. Let's do that, okay? The first thing, we want some sort of protein element. I love adding plant-based proteins to all of my dishes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, sweets, and snacks. So for this, we're going to add hemp seeds, all right? We're going to throw in hemp seeds because hemp seeds are jam-packed with nutrients like omega-3s, omega-6 fatty acids, as well as protein. Only 3 tablespoons of this stuff will give you 10 grams of protein. That's saying a lot. That's a great amount of protein for a seed. You know, I think the birds had it right when they said, we're just going to eat seeds all the time. These birds, they know what they're talking about. So we're going to add hemp seeds. Hemp seeds have now become one of my favorite foods. And I'm not just saying this because it's like a cool thing to say or because it sounds cool. I'm certainly not that cool, but I love them because they keep me feeling full, satiated. They're jam-packed with protein, like I said. So that's going to help me feel like I'm meeting my balanced nutrients throughout the day in all of my meals. And like I said, these are really versatile. You can use them in all different applications. In the morning, I use them in smoothies. In the afternoons, I use them all over my lunches. I sprinkle them on soups. I sprinkle them on salads. And then in the evenings for my dinners, my sweets and my snacks, you can use them in anything. Today, we're actually making a snack-esque appetizer, shareable, delicious stuffed portobellos. And so this is perfect for that. But you can also put it inside of dips. You can also put it inside of, on top of grilled vegetables, grilled tofu, tempeh, things like that. Delicious. All right, now my flavor agents. I definitely want to add a combination of these. You can make it your own though. I want you to make it your own. So I have ground cumin here. Really, really delicious. Really, really warming. Great for Mexican-leaning, Latin-leaning flavors, things like this. Cumin is fantastic for this. All right, I might use that. A little California garlic powder, never hurt anyone. Really good, really savory. This is gonna add a roundness to your dish. All right, now chili powder, chili seasoning. I couldn't find plain chili powder because the market was out, but I did grab this chili seasoning blend from Trader Joe's, which I absolutely love. It's a combination of cayenne pepper, chili powder, oregano. What else does it have? Garlic and onion powder. It's really great. It's just full-bodied. Again, it's going to give you that chili heat and then a lot of dimension of flavor because of the other blends of spices that are in it. Good stuff. Now, onion salt or onion powder, phenomenal. I love using onion salt in particular for a lot of different things, soups, stews, sauces, salad dressings, popcorn. I love putting it on top of dishes as just kind of like a finishing garnish. It's great because it kind of has like a little parsley in this. It has a little onion powder. It's got salt as well, maybe a little white pepper. And so it's great. It kind of just accentuates any dish. Again, this is a rounding flavor. Onion seems to be a very rounding and robust flavor for dishes. Now, if you want some smoky quality, you can add smoked paprika. We used this yesterday. We made a really, really delicious meal, and we used smoked paprika in our creamy tortilla soup to add that smokiness. The same thing applies here. You can definitely add a number of these flavors, including the smokiness from the smoked paprika. It's not hot and spicy. It's just smoky and yummy. All right, you can also use tomato paste, and I love Italian tomato paste. I usually get it in the tube like this. Looks like some toothpaste, right? Don't use it as toothpaste. Don't make your teeth red. It's really good, though. It's very versatile. I like it in the tube form because you can throw it in your refrigerator kind of anywhere. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I don't really like to grab canned tomato paste because it has a very tin-like flavor, whereas this doesn't. This is also double concentrate tomato paste, which is really good for many things. But what I'll say, the one thing I'll say about it is double concentrate tomato paste is like taking the most highly antioxidant rich ingredient and double timing it, okay? So that's why this stuff is really good. Usually it's double concentrated in the tube and it's single concentrated or one-time concentrated in the tin. I really want you to get a lot of antioxidants in your diet, especially if you're gonna go plant-based, you're gonna get them all over your diet from a ton of fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and legumes. But tomatoes are unlike anything else. They are gonna have a ton of lycopene, an incredible antioxidant. This is double the strength, all right? That's my friend. All right, so I'm gonna use a combination of these things. The next thing that you want are some spicy elements that are like chili elements, all right? So in this case, you can use a bunch of different stuff. I have some hot chili oil. This would be phenomenal. You can get this kind of anywhere. It's great for garnishing. You can also use this. I really like chili garlic sauce. And this is wonderful. I love this because it has that garlicky flavor. This is more of a finished sauce though. So if you're going to add this to other things like in the mix of the spicy ricotta that we're making, this is going to add a ton of salt. So be really careful with this because it's a fully finished sauce. It's really most better as like a finishing sauce, but you could certainly use it in your ricotta, just sparingly, okay? Because of the sodium level. All right, now we have an ingredient that we used a couple days ago, chili onion crunch, you guys. If you didn't see the Romanesco recipe, I taught you how to make pan-seared, spicy, creamy tahini Romanesco. This was 2 days ago. Check out the replay. I finished it off with this chili onion crunch. Now, me and my Auntie Ree, we love this stuff. This comes from Trader Joe's. It's a new product of the last like 6 months, I think. It's phenomenal, and you can get it in the canned section, like the canned goods section where they have the condiments. It's really great on a lot of stuff. Again, it's phenomenal because it's onions and garlic dehydrated, and then it's actually suspended in olive oil. And it's really, really rich. It's delicious. It's savory as well as it's got that heat because it has also chili flake. Really good stuff. You can add that just fine. And it doesn't have any salt, so this is great. You can add that in anything. And then how about some green chilies? These are fire roasted hatch chilies, which if you live in Southern California, you know that hatch chilies, there's a huge season for it here in SoCal. Green chilies are phenomenal. I love this product. It's a 4-ounce tin of green chilies. They are fire roasted hatch. So it's going to be have a good high heat level, but not overly hot. They consider this a mild heat, but it's still going to give you that heat. These are really good inside mixed into anything. But again, remember, this has salt added. The brine does contain salt. And I'm going to tell you, in just 2 tablespoons, it's 120 milligrams. So you want to use this sparingly, right? If you don't add any other salt to your spicy ricotta, this you could add the whole thing. But just make sure that you're aware of how much salt goes into our dishes. So this would be great for that. All right, now let's talk about the almond ricotta. All right, so I make homemade ricotta cheese. I make all of my own ricotta cheeses homemade from nut pulp. I make all of my own almond milk and nut milk and seed milk. So I went ahead and made my fresh batch of almond milk just yesterday, right? And I love this. I'm gonna actually do a whole week on demoing different nut milks, seed milks, and pulp, what to do with that leftover pulp after you've made your plant milks. Plant milks are so much fun, you guys. I've done so much. This is an amazing almond milk right now. I've done oat milk. I've done pistachio milk, chia seed milk, hemp seed milk, walnut milk, flaxseed milk. I've done a milk with 12 different nuts and seeds all blended together. It was really good. So I'm going to show you all those tips and tricks in another week. But for right now, I made this just recently, and I make it inside of a machine called an almond cow. I'll talk about it later. But if you don't have a machine to make almond milk, know that it's more cost effective to actually make it yourself than to buy it. It is one of the most hot, like increased price ingredients that we can actually buy in the market, which is almond milk or nut milks. Plant milks are very expensive per ounce in the grocery store. So if you make it, you can save pennies on the dollar. And if you don't have a machine, here's what you would need. This is the old school version, the really cool, very, very low cost way of doing it. This is a nut bag, all right? I'm gonna go into great detail about this in another week, like I said, but this is what you would wanna get. This is called a nut milk bag, and you can buy these on Amazon, and usually it comes in like a 2-pack. It's really great. It's just a bag that's a fine mesh bag, and it has a drawstring. And what you do is you can either soak your nuts, or you can keep them raw, and you blend them up in a high-speed blender, pop the mixture into this bag. You want to pull the drawstring, and then you want to squeeze all of that delicious plant milk out of the nuts or seeds or whatever ingredients you're using. What you'll end up with is this liquid plant milk, which is really, really great. But you're also going to end up with all of this nut pulp that's left in the bag after you've squeezed all of the milk out. Now, is this reminding you of regular cheese? I hope so, because it's essentially exactly the same thing. When we make cheese, we actually take it and we actually add elements to it to create the separation of the whey and the curd. And then we chop it up and we press it. Now, same thing applies with plant milk. We have our nut pulp, and what I do is I take my nut pulp, and to this, I've already actually added the ingredients. You'll see I have nut pulp. I'm going to do an overhead here so you can see. There we go. So this is nut pulp. This is almond nut pulp, and this is almond ricotta now. So what I did is I took the nut pulp, I just strained all that milk out, and then it's usually white. It looks just white. Now, I had to do this earlier because I wanted all these flavors to melt together and to come together. So here's what I'm working with here. This is almond pulp, and this is a cup of almond pulp that's been squeezed out. Then I added ingredients like I added onion salt, I added California garlic powder, and I added chili seasoning, and you better believe chili onion crunch. All right, I had to add this. I had to. I mix this together, and what you end up with is a delicious, spicy almond ricotta. So yummy and so much cheaper than trying to buy almond ricotta in the supermarket. So this is it. This is ready, right? I made this ahead of time yesterday, to be exact, so that this could come together and the flavors would really start to accentuate as one. I really want the flavors to come together as one. I wanted that nut pulp to get really nice and spicy. I wanted the garlic powder to sort of like dissolve away. And this is ready. This is going to be the filling. And if you wanted to, you could throw in any other ingredients, but this is going to be perfect. All right. Now for our portobello mushrooms, let me grab these. And I'm just going to take them out of the package here. And I will show you. Here it is. Here's a portobello. And a really cool thing to remember when working with mushrooms is that you actually don't want to rinse these underwater. Think of mushrooms as nature sponges, all right? You don't want to rinse these because as soon as you do, it will soak up all of that water. And then what you're going to get is as soon as you grill these, put them in the oven, whatever, you make a burger out of it, all of a sudden that water just kind of just comes right out and you get this like wet mushroom. You want to avoid that as much as possible. And one of the ways to avoid it is to literally just pat it dry. So I'm going to get a paper towel and you can wipe any dirt off that you see on the outside. I don't see any dirt here. If you wanted to, I was taught in culinary school many moons ago that if you wanted to, you could actually peel off this part, this like brown skin on the outside. Do you see that? I'm not going to do that all the way around. To be honest, in culinary school, when we used to do stuff like that, it would make me cringe. I absolutely hate wasting food. There's absolutely no need other than to make it prettier, and I'm doing prettier in air quotes, right? To take off the skin. You don't actually need to peel potatoes. You don't need to peel carrots. You just need to make sure they're clean, all right? That's it. But if you wanted them to be a little white, which is weird because if you did, then you probably would just rather save some money by getting button mushrooms, which are conventional mushrooms. But I really appreciate that brown color. So I'm going to leave it on. Now flip it over, and what you have here are the gills. And you can see I'm looking at the gills. One way to know if a mushroom is, really fresh is to smell it. It should smell like soil. It should smell like earth. It shouldn't at all smell like mold. Now I'm going to bring this very close so I can show you the gills. Bear with me here as I get this, the camera just right to focus. Let's see, I'm going to get this right. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn it to the side. You can see the gills are nice and dry. They're uniform, right? There's no wetness. There's no moldiness to this at all. This looks phenomenal. I'm going to just go with it. I can tell these are fresh and delicious and perfect for stuffing. So I'm going to stuff 3 of these portobellos here. I'm going to just wiping off all of them. And all I want to do is remove that piece, the stem. That can go into my compost or that can go into my mushroom stock. I love it. We're going to definitely use mushroom stock in the weeks to come because it's one of my faves. And all I'm doing is I'm taking my thumb and I'm literally pressing. This one is a little shorter. When they cut them too short, it's hard to do this thumb trick, but I'm just going to press my thumb. And what you end up with is you can pop out the stem really easily. All right, compost. Now, some will tell you to remove the gills. You absolutely can. I'm not going to. The gills contain, oh my gosh, so many micronutrients, a lot of fiber, a lot of iron. I'm going to leave the gills intact, but if you wanted to, I will show you because that's why we're here. I want you to make it your own. You can just take a spoon and you can literally scrape these gills away. And what you'll end up exposing is this inner part of the mushroom. And it literally looks brown underneath the gill. It just looks like the gills have been removed and that's it. There's no need to do this though, because you're just wasting the mushroom. And I want it in my belly. I don't want it in my compost. I want it in my belly. All right, so here we go. Take my ricotta. And I'm gonna create a mound. I really wanna create a nice big full mound. I don't wanna press the ricotta in too much so that it's really compact because I wanna make sure this ricotta almond cheese is actually going to warm, kind of melt, do its thing. So I'm not going to pack it too tightly. I'm just going to like grab some and let it kind of fall in to this hole here and then spreading it out. Now you can buy ricotta cheese if you can't make the nut milk at home, you don't have time, you don't want to, whatever the reason for being that you can't do it, you can actually buy it. I will recommend one brand. It's Kite Hill. Kite Hill has an amazing almond ricotta that's plain, and then you can season it up. You can make it spicy. You can make it your own. However, I will say it is extremely expensive. It might not be for you, but it certainly is for me and probably any average person. It usually runs about $9 for a 6-ounce container. So that's quite a lot of money. I know that when I make this, every single time I make this ricotta, it costs me less than 10 cents to make it because all I'm using is water right from my tap that's been purified and almonds. Or in any case, you could use anything, any nuts or seeds like pistachios, walnuts, coconut, soy, chia seed milk, flaxseed milk, any of these. So whatever the cost of your raw ingredients, that's going to be the cost of the milk. So you can save a lot of money. All right, so we have these here. These are stuffed. These look phenomenal. I'm now going to take my baking sheet. I'm going to use a toaster oven size baking sheet because, as you guys know, I actually bake right in my toaster oven, which is right next to me. You can see the little aqua machine there. It's small. But it works really fast, and that's why I use a toaster oven. Plus, I happen to be in my garage. I didn't know if you knew that, but this is a fake set. It is not a fake kitchen, though. I've created a kitchen in my garage. Yes, I love to cook that much. That's why I have 2 kitchens in my home. All right, so I have my baking sheet. This is just going to be layered with a Silpat. I've talked a lot about this. This is a cut your own size Silpat. It's the only FDA approved and BPA free Silpat that is totally sustainable. You can wash it and reuse it hundreds of times. You can do everything with this except for you cannot cook it on high heat above about 600 degrees. But in the oven, it's perfect. It works even well as a grilling mat as long as you can keep that temperature not super screaming, but it works phenomenal in the oven, which I love. So place these on. Now I'm going to top this with one other ingredient. For me, I'm going to top this with a little plant-based Parmesan cheese. I'll share with this recipe with you another time. But for right now, just know that I use this all the time. I use it in all of my cooking. It's phenomenal. It is really good stuff. And it only takes 2 ingredients. It takes like 1 second to make in a food processor. So let me open up my jar here. And this is jam-packed full of vitamin B12. And I love B12. It's my favorite vitamin. 12 is my lucky number. If you didn't know that, I hope that now you'll remember that. So B12 is my favorite. And I love that this idea around plant-based people, we can't get enough vitamin B12 in our food. It's just not true. Let me dispel this rumor and this myth for you. You can actually get far more than you need as long as you enjoy lots of various different fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and plant foods. And you can also get it by just eating 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast a day will give you your daily recommended value. So there you go. That's as easy as it is. If you wanted to spend like $20 on a bottle of vitamin B12 in capsule form, that's your business. You can do that. But I like to save money where I can, and I like to get all of my nutrients from my food where I can. All right. So this has been topped with my Parmesan cheese. These are going into the oven. All right, I'm going to set this to 400 degrees. I'm going to let this go for about 12 minutes. Remember, lucky number, right? I'm going to just check on this every once in a while because I'm in a toaster oven and I'm actually much closer to the heat source than you might be in your standard home oven. I will have to flip my pan a few times. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, this is going to be so good. I can't wait. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when it gets to like Thursday or Friday in my home, I start to like transition to this weekend mode in terms of my kitchen. And I'm starting to now make Thursdays and Fridays are my days for making shareable foods, for like appetizers, for foods that'll get me through the weekend, like my creamy tortilla soup I made yesterday, trying to get me through kind of like doing a little bit of bulk cooking Thursday and Friday that's fun and shareable, and that will just kind of set me up for success over the weekend. So I really like to use my Thursdays and Fridays for that. All right, so I'm going to show you just a little bit about mushrooms because I think it's really interesting. I'm going to share my screen here. Yeah. Should I do the comment first? Oh, I already shared my screen. Let me do this. Let me do this first, okay? All right, so I have this really cool graphic that I pulled up. I wanted to share it with you to show you the difference between button mushrooms, which are those white mushrooms, they're conventional, cremini mushrooms, and then portobellos. So what you really want to know is that cremini mushrooms are the brown strain of the button mushroom. So they're basically of the same family. They're just the brown strain. So you know how eggs can either have white shells or brown shells? fungi, as well as a lot of vegetables in the vegetable kingdom, can also have different outside shells or skins and colors, but they can be the same genome or the same seed and from the same family. So cremini mushrooms are just of the brown variety. They're also known as baby portobello. So did you know that the cremini mushroom, or the baby brown portobello mushroom, is just an immature portobello mushroom? So what they do about halfway through its life cycle is they harvest the cremini mushrooms halfway through the portobello has grown. And so they'll usually cultivate creminis for creminis and cultivate portobellos for portobellos. But if you let a cremini mushroom from seed grow all the way to maturity, you'll end up with a portobello every single time. It's the same thing. A cremini is just harvested at an immature state, like kind of like a microgreen is an immature green variety. Same thing is happening with the cremini mushrooms. If you let them grow all the way to the mature state, though, you get the portobello mushrooms. They're fully matured cremini mushrooms. The largest version are these portobellos. They all come in the brown color. They're also known as portobellas, like we talked about. The little package that I got said portobellas. Also known as Roman mushroom. I didn't know that until now. And the capione mushroom. Okay, I like that. All right, you know that I'm Sicilian and Hispanic, so anytime I can add just a little ethnic flair to it, I certainly will. They're thick. They're meaty. It's a great meat substitute, which is why I love to stuff them. I prefer the larger mushrooms stuffed as opposed to the smaller mushrooms stuffed, because I can get a lot more filling in there, but also I can slice it into like chunks, like a slice of pizza or whatever. I can do like half a mushroom or a little slice wedges of these stuffed mushrooms. So good. And as far as a quick lunch is concerned, this is a really, really great lunch, because you could literally slice it in portions, and you can actually make a quick salad on the side. And there you have it. You've got your stuffed portobello with your salad. Perfect lunch, perfect dinner, or perfect snack, just as it is. So I wanted to share that with you because I thought that that was really, really cool. And I hope that you think that that's cool also. And I'm going to come back now. I think we have a question. All right. So let's see. Coming to the questions now. Hi, Shira. Good to see you. All right, this comes from, it's in Spanish.
You're saying that you're a smart cookie.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got to tell you, I absolutely love nutrition facts. I love learning and studying nutrition, health. It's like I'm such a nerd for it. I've known this about me since I was a little kid. It's very strange. I don't have a good attention span for a lot of things, but when it comes to nutrition and dietary theory, I just sink my brain into it. I love it. So thank you. I'm glad. And I love to be called a smart cookie. Yes, I don't want to be a fat cookie or an unhealthy cookie. I want to be a smart cookie, darn it. Thank you. Gracias. All right. Oh, Shira, my friend Shira is here. She said she's watching with her nephews. Hi, Eddie and Miles. I love your auntie and uncle. We went to Israel together. These are my friends. I also see Kelly. Kelly, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put your question up here. Kelly says, is there a way to get the list of ingredients? I certainly can post this for you, and I'll do that soon after. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post this recipe inside of the Plant-Based Made Easy Facebook group. So if you guys here on the line want to join, please do. It's a wonderful community of people. We've grown it to over 150 people, and we're just talking all things plant-based. So whole food plant-based. What's the difference between whole food plant-based versus not plant-based? How do we take any classic recipe and make it plant-based or make it healthified? So join us for that, and I'll post the recipe there, okay? Awesome. All right. I think that's all the questions. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I want to just also talk about this really fast because I've talked about it a couple times throughout the week. Excuse me while I take a sip of water, though, because I am sweating. I'm schwitzing, as they say, as my husband says.
Check it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me check these. I'm going to spin my portobellos. All right, so like I said, these are closer to the heat source than yours will be. So I'm gonna take this burnt part, I'm gonna place it down, like punch it down just a bit because it's too close to the heat source and it's just kind of sitting in, getting a little too brown. This is gonna go back in. Cool. You could also bake these low and slow if you wanted. Let's say you were making these for a party. I'm just going to throw this out here because it's the weekend. I know we're not socializing a lot and entertaining a lot, but if you wanted to make these for a great party, You can actually bake these at like 275 or 325, anywhere between that range. And you can keep them in your oven for a longer period of time. And what's just going to happen is that mushroom will continue to cook, and it's sort of going to like embody or envelop the flavor of that spicy almond ricotta. So low and slow will totally work. And I love to serve these for socializing or gathering with family and friends, because it's kind of like something that everyone will love. It sort of wows the crowd, and it doesn't take that long to make, as you saw. So that would be a great way to do that. You guys have any other questions? Anyone? Sal, do you have any questions? All right. I was talking about choosing health. If you do have a question, just throw it in the box and I'll come to you. Choosing health is a priority for me right now. And I just kind of want to share a quick another piece about my story. One of the questions that we got yesterday was what was one of the first things that you noticed, that I noticed about changes in my health as soon as I went fully plant-based. And I answered yesterday quickly with the first thing that came to mind, which is my sleep significantly improved. And as soon as the show ended yesterday, I kept thinking about this question because it's such an important one. It came to us by our friend Eve, who's here. If you're here, hi, Eve. It's such an important question because it's one that people might be afraid to ask about, or people might be, they might not know how to ask it, or they might not realize that changes occur very quickly. So as an integrative nutrition health coach, one of the things that I do with people is I help people understand that we all are bio-individual. We all have a completely different makeup. But did you know that all of our cells, 99% of our cells, are all exactly the same? There's only a little portion of us that's uniquely ours. And that's usually sitting right in the microbiome or the gut belly. I'm pointing to I'm a little short, but yeah, the microbiome or the gut belly. And one of the things that I work with people on is to try to sort of help them identify how can they choose health for themselves? How can they actually prioritize health for themselves in whatever manner that means for them, and start to learn and track what are the changes that they're noticing. So this is exactly what I do. And it's exactly the thing that I think wakes me up in the morning to like help me to jump out of bed to want to do this work day in and day out. Just checking out my mushrooms. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that every single person, while they see changes at different rates, lots of people are experiencing the same changes just at different times. So I have seen so many different people that have, I've ushered them into a plant-based lifestyle just over the last 2 months, you guys, that literally have said all of the things that I've myself have experienced. Like their sleep has changed. Their mood has been more regulated. They don't feel as edgy. They don't feel as angry. A lot of people talk about their body immediately shifts. Their inflammation goes down. So all of a sudden that suspended belly that they had, that like thick neck that you have, thick arms, all of this stuff, while being thick is not bad at all. And I do not want to mince my words here. It's beautiful to have a big body, to embody a big body. What we want to really make sure of is that we're comfortable in our unit, we're comfortable in our bio-individuality, and that we are choosing health to make it a priority for ourselves. So I just wanted to bring that up again because I thought it was a phenomenal question that was asked, and I could talk about it every day. I could mention a different benefit that I'm experiencing, and the other ones that I think are really important and most visible to people. Have you ever noticed when someone's plant-based or vegan, if you look at plant-based people or vegan people compared to people that eat a conventional or a standard diet, have you ever noticed that people on a plant-based diet or a vegan diet have like shiny, glowy skin and like really white teeth and really white eyes? You guys, that's not by any mistake. That is one of the first indicators that the gut microbiome or the belly body has started to shift. And all of the toxicity inside of our belly has been released. And what can come out of our pores is this light, is this glowiness. And it's very true. It's sometimes hard to put into words the things that we experience because we're so new in this space of getting healthy and being healthy as a society. So these are all new concepts. Don't be fooled though that dietary theory and a plant-based whole food diet has been proven for 2 decades. It was actually proven first in the 1970s by Dr. Pritikin. Excuse me, he wasn't a doctor, Nathan Pritikin. And then his son, Dr. Pritikin, took it over in the 1990s. But more importantly than that, in 1990, another doctor in the Bay Area, Dr. Dean Ornish actually conducted peer-reviewed, scientifically proven research with a bunch of people, a lot of people, and he actually proved that a whole food, plant-based diet can arrest and reverse heart disease, the #1 killer of all people all over the world today. And not just that, now we've seen over the last 2 decades since the 90s, how much a whole food plant-based diet can do beyond just arresting and reversing heart disease. We now know it can arrest and reverse all chronic illness. I mean, if that doesn't stop you in your tracks and help you to like feel like this is worthy of your attention, worthy of your consideration, worthy of your willingness to give it a try, I just don't know what will. But you are not alone. It is difficult and courageous to step into this newness, this transition, this new way of being, but it's time for us to expand. We're being called to do that. So you know what's next to expand? My belly, because I think these mushrooms are ready. So let me get them out of the oven. Cool. Oh yeah, look at these. I'll do a little overhead shot for you. Yum, right? These look so darn good. All right, I'm gonna take one off. This one's great. This looks phenomenal. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good too. All right, so let me plate this up. Before I do that, I'll go ahead and slice it. I'm just gonna feel it, make sure that it's, yeah, it's firm enough for me to slice. It's not too melty that it's gonna kind of like run out. Remember, this is almond ricotta. It's if you're just joining us, it's not dairy ricotta, and so it's not going to melt like traditional ricotta. Although ricotta doesn't really melt, it's more of a warming cheese. But if you've never used ricotta, no, it's not like mozzarella or burrata. It's not going to be that melty. It's going to be unctuous, kind of cheesy, dairy-like, but almost have more of a mouthfeel. It's really going to be great. So I'm going to just slice this. I think I'll keep, yeah, let me slice it in wedges. This is what I was saying earlier. Slicing it in wedges just like this, really, really great. I'm going to plate it. I'm going to plate it with a little garnish. I think I'm going to plate it with a garnish of this chili onion crunch because that's what's in it. So I want to indicate to my eater, whoever's going to enjoy this with me, right? This is what we have. I'm just going to do a little chili onion crunch on the base here. Great. I'm going to take my wedges, going to open them up just slightly. Phenomenal. So good. All right. I want a little tiny bit of green because I can't eat without any green on without something green on my plate. I really love that green color. So I think I'm going to grab some parsley in my herb vase, which I talk about a lot. Keep your soft herbs inside of an herb vase, friends, and they are going to last like for 5 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks. It's really, really great. So I'm going to take some flat leaf parsley, beautiful, herbaceous. Oh my gosh. Boy, does that smell good. Gosh, I love that. I'm just going to place it like a little bundle, right in the center. Close this up. And there you have it. I don't know if this doesn't look good to you. It looks really good to me. All right, look, we have an amazing spicy almond ricotta stuffed portobello mushroom. It's just sliced into wedges. It's begging to go into my belly and Danny's belly, I'm sure. I just lit a little garnish of parsley because, right, doesn't this just accentuate the dish with a little green? And then I did a little chili onion crunch. Whatever you put in your spicy ricotta, indicate that on the plate. So go ahead and put that down on the plate. You guys, people are going to think that you're a chef. Maybe you are. And enjoy it. Get into it. It's Friday after all. There's a lot going on in the world to weigh us down. But you know what? If you choose your health, you can be elevated. I'm not saying that we need to bypass everything. We don't. We want to be in part on it. We want to be on the ground as activists, as pioneers to changing our life. And the best way to change your life is right with your food on the power of your plate. So I'm going to try a little piece. All right. I can't mess that up. I'm going to try another piece. I can't mess that up. That's just too good. Here we go. This is going into my belly. I want to show you the inside too. Look, the gills are still there. The gills are phenomenal. They act as a barrier between the meat on the bottom and the middle. You guys, come on. You want to bite or what? Come over. Here we go. Mm. Mm. It's good. It's really good. Mm. I mean, mm. It's spicy. Ooh, it's good. Mm-hmm. Get into it, will ya? Join me this weekend. Make this tonight. Make it tomorrow. Make it this weekend. If you do, go ahead and put Choose Health as your hashtag. Tell people what you're about. Get out there, do it, you guys. Come back for more, please. If you want to see me make something, I'm happy to accommodate. Let me know. Drop me a DM, email me, put it in the comments box. I'm here to serve you, and I want to serve you well. And if you haven't, please join me on Instagram at Chef Daniela Malfitano. Yes, Kelly, I do have a cookbook. I have 8 cookbooks for sale. They're all for sale on my website on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can check them all out. I will say they're not all plant-based. This was actually before I made my transition. Like I said, Kelly, I just went plant-based 103 days ago now. So this is new for me, but I do have cookbooks available. I highly recommend, and this is going to sound funny, but I have an amazing grilling book. And my favorite part of writing that book was greening your grill. There's a whole chapter on how to use the grill for fruits, vegetables, and desserts. It's really good. So check that out if you're interested. I'll be hopefully writing a plant-based cookbook, hopefully in the near future. I can't wait to do that. I'm very inspired, as you can see by this work. But keep coming back, you guys. Thank you so much for your question, Kelly. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Shira. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, all of the people here, Anna, Melody, Robin. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Go out there, make it good, make it magical. I'll see you next time. Peace out.